Welcome to the JD Remedy. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the JD Remedy. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. Okay, so as I'm recording this introduction, we are officially allowed to take our masks off here in Perth as of tomorrow. Obviously, lockdown and everything ended. We just had a few more restrictions with wearing a mask and things like that. But we have had 0 cases for the whole 2 weeks and we are officially free tomorrow. Super grateful that everybody cooperated and we were able to take action so quickly because now, we're able to get back to our lives. I'm excited because it is Valentine's Day tomorrow, so we'll be able to hear each other. I feel like a lot of the frustration with couples at the moment is, well, me anyway, is constantly saying, what are you saying? Like getting so pissed off because you have no idea what your partner's saying behind their stupid mask. So I've been a little bit touchy this week. I don't know how you guys are doing it in other places of the world, having to wear masks for such a long time. My heart goes out to you and I hope the relationships are not boiling over, because having a conversation with someone is just mental when you're wearing a mask. So I feel for you guys. It's also my birthday in a couple of weeks, I think. I actually forgot it was Valentine's Day tomorrow, so I definitely don't know when. It's my birthday definitely in a few weeks, but I don't know exactly when. So far, I have no plans. I don't know if I can be bothered, honestly. I don't know if anything will be open, but I just can't be bothered in the first place. And now that I've started budgeting and stuff really well, which will be my self-care tip for you guys today, I've just become very aware of where my money's going and trying to save and trying to really look after myself financially. I've just started researching ETFs and how to invest, and I have been using Raise for a little while, which is a app that you can use and it invests for you small amounts in lots of different companies, and that just does it automatically for me. But I bought my first ETF the other day, guys. I'm so excited. I did all my research about the company and I want to invest in companies that are looking after the planet. That's my feel good choice. Whether they're good on the stock market or not, I don't care. I feel good. I feel good backing companies that are looking after the planet and climate change and clean energy and all that kind of crap. So my recs for you guys this week, I have a couple of bangers for you. So the first one for self-care would be finances. So I've really been listening to a podcast called She's on the Money. I know a lot of you probably know who that is. If you don't, she's a financial advisor and she obviously has her own programs and her own podcasts, but she really kind of breaks down finances for people that just have no fucking idea, which I think is majority of people, especially the younger generation. I feel like we're not really taught about money. And for me, I'm really interested, like I said, in investing at the moment. But my biggest downfall was budgeting. I had no idea where my money was going, but specifically I had no plan in place to track it or organize my flow of income and my spending as well. So what I've done, this is through talking to different people with suggestions and advice. I always tell you guys, make sure you're reaching out to mentors or people that are where you want to be, and obviously listening to financial podcasts and really teaching myself and indulging in finances at the moment. And it makes me feel super smart. I don't know if I am or I'm doing it right, but I feel content with how I've done things, so I want to share it. What I've done is obviously you budget, you calculate everything. Oh, and just a disclaimer, obviously I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. If you want serious advice, make sure you're consulting a professional, but I just wanted to share what I've done. It's super simple, and you're welcome to follow my advice if you like, but I am not a professional. Seek professional advice if you would like to learn more about what to do with your money. I feel like I have to put that in there. Don't sue me. Yeah, I did my budget and understood exactly how much I was earning, and what my expenses were. And then I just tallied everything up. Even if they were monthly subscriptions, I calculated how much it would cost per week for that subscription. I used something very simple that I'm going to suggest for you guys. So if you just go on Google and type in Money Smart Budget Planner, so it's from the Australian government and it's moneysmart.gov.au, but just type in Budget Planner Money Smart and it should pop up. They actually have a template that you can use where you put in every single one of your expenses and it calculates. You can do weekly, fortnightly, monthly, and you can put all your income in and it's all labeled and pretty and organized, and it really helped me understand what my expenses were and where my money was going and what was coming in as well. Now, once I understood how much per week I needed to spend on like bills and food and rent and things like that, I identified how much money I had left over, and then I split that money. A portion of it goes into my savings, a portion of it goes into investments, so I have a little bit of money left over to play with, reinvesting into myself, and then obviously a little bit of a spending budget. So if we want to go to dinner or get my hair done, things like that. So the second part of that, once you understand that amount, what was really important to me is understanding that spending amount. So once the rest of my income was allocated, including investments and things like that, I had a certain amount of money left over that I was allowed to spend on my lifestyle. So dinners, etc., like I just said. So I have a separate bank account for this, but if you want to just open another bank account with your current bank account but have a separate debit card, you'll understand what I'm saying in a second. But what I've done personally is I use Up as my spending account. So I opened an account with Up Bank. It has its own card. Mine's attached to my phone. I send like an automatic send is set up on that bank account. So when I get paid from my income, my spending amount is sent to that Up account that has its own debit card, and that is the only card I'm allowed to use to spend on lifestyle stuff, like my allocated spending fund. What I love about it is obviously I can see how much is in the account. I can see when it goes down, when it goes up, and physically up, get it, it's the account name. Me physically being able to see how much I have left in the account has really helped me, because I know how much I can spend, and I can also plan in the future. So if I don't spend all of my spending fund that week, it accumulates, and I can maybe then afford to get my hair done or purchase a ticket to an event or something like that. Whereas before, I knew that I had some money, I suppose, to spend on myself, but it was mixed in with the rest of my money that was coming in and out for bills and subscriptions and things like that. And I never stopped myself. I never had a cap. I was just using the same card to buy stuff, and I always went in minus, and I was like, fuck, I'm chewing into my savings to buy a pair of shoes. And it honestly, it was a mess. I have been quite embarrassed about my finances and my situation with money and my lack of education and things like that. But I am proud to say that I am really trying to educate myself and learn and set myself up, finally, a bit late, but set myself up for the future. So that's what I'm doing, and it's really, really helped me. But I learn a lot of this stuff from She's on the Money, so I will recommend her podcast, and there's a Facebook group you can join. But I've always said only take advice from people that you would trade places with. So definitely surround yourself with people that are where you want to be, and remember, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around. So I did say at the beginning of this year, my goal for this year is finances. Like, I really just want to immerse myself in financial education and, putting things in place, actionable steps to get myself ahead. So money has always been a really soft spot for me to talk about just with other people, because I've always been embarrassed. Like, I grew up fine. I had a fantastic childhood. We weren't poor or anything. Like, I feel like I've always been that person that's so frustrated because I didn't understand how people were wealthy. Like, I didn't understand investing. I didn't understand how anything worked, and I just got really annoyed that I had never been taught that, and they don't teach it in school. And it's like, where do you fucking start, right? Like, what do you do? So baby steps for me. definitely listening to that podcast and setting up that budget and allocated spending on a separate account or a separate card, and only having access to that one thing has helped me so much. And to some people, they might be thinking, well, that's pretty fucking basic stuff. Why have you not done that sooner? But in my head, and maybe for some of you, it's like, if you're not taught this stuff, it's not common sense. Do you know what I mean? So I just want to share what I've been taught and what I've figured out for myself. And this may not work for you. You may be advanced, or you may not even be ready for that kind of stuff. But, do your research and listen to professionals and just try things out and figure out what works for you. My entertainment wreck. Let me tell you, I know I've got some crime doco fans out there that are frothing over this shit the same as me, because I got messages and comments and inboxes about when I recommended, what's it called? The Night Stalker or whatever. When I recommended that a couple of weeks ago, everybody fucking lost their shit. So this one, and I know you've all seen it pop up if you're on this bandwagon, but the Cecil Hotel. What was really fascinating about this documentary is multiple crimes had happened at this hotel. Suicides, murder, like unsolved mysteries, and just like a lot of crime and drug use, and it's in a really bad part. It's on like Skid Row in Los Angeles, right? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, we're just going to learn about the hotel, and still interested because there's a lot of crime there. But they actually centered the docuseries around one crime in particular, which was the mysterious death of Elisa Lam. So if you guys don't know who Elisa Lam is, you're about to. What really fascinated me about this is, obviously, this was a really long time ago. I watched a mini YouTube, those little mini YouTube sleuth videos that some people do on YouTube. They just like talk about crime documentaries. I just watched one of those randomly like years ago, and it was about Lisa Lam, and I just remember being like, that's so weird. I can't believe that was never solved. Like, this was unsolved at the time. And I watched this documentary, and they deep dived into her death. And I had never heard any of this information before. And it was friggin' incredible. And it was just like how it all ties into the hotel and different possibilities that could have happened to her based off of what was happening in the hotel at the time. And it was just like this big fucked up, scary place to be, right? And it may give off spoilers, but if you're going to watch it anyway, you'll hear all of this stuff. But they do have a conclusion at the end, so technically it's not unsolved. But depending on what your opinion of the case is, it's solved or it's not solved. So skip ahead a couple of minutes if you don't want spoilers. But pretty much they were saying by the end of the documentary, you know how you get those documentaries where they lead you on a journey and you change your mind as to how that person died, like every episode. I love those kind of documentaries because they sell you on an idea and you're like, oh yeah, she was definitely like murdered by that person, or she definitely committed suicide, or it was definitely drug overdose, or whatever it was. Every episode you're like, that definitely happened. By the end you're like, oh, you fucking kidding me? That's what happened. So this one was really cool. I think I agree with what happened. Again, spoilers, if you're still listening and you don't want it, skip ahead. But they said that she had very severe bipolar disorder and was not taking her medication and just became very frantic and was having an episode and was not pretty much coherent. And it was so sad, like when you watch the footage back knowing that she was having a bipolar episode, it's so sad to watch because the symptoms that they describe that people go through with bipolar disorder when they're having an episode is exactly what she was doing. And it's actually so fucking sad to watch. If you could be that paranoid during an episode that someone's trying to kill you or something is trying to kill you, like a spirit or whatever it is, that you need to run to safety and get into a water tank, and then she drowned, like, it's just so fucking upsetting to think that someone's mental illness can be that serious. Like, obviously mental illness is serious. Don't come for me. But do you know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't grasp the concept of what she might have been going through and what frame of mind she would be in for her to end up dying. Like, it was just awful. But if you don't know that, like, you obviously don't find out that she was mentally ill to the very last episode, of course, but they explore, like, were there spirits? If you haven't seen it and you just want to know what I'm referencing, look up Elisa Lam elevator video. So the only footage they have of her before she disappeared was her, like, acting very strangely in an elevator, and then she disappears. So she's, like, moving her hands around really weirdly as if she's, like, trying to feel something in front of her, or, you know, people were speculating because she was pushing all of these buttons in the elevator, but the elevator wasn't moving for her, and she kept hiding in the elevator. So people were saying, was there someone else outside the elevator and that's who killed her? Were they saying, was it a spirit that, like, was she, like, possessed and it made her kill herself? Or obviously the hotel was very infamous for drug dealers and murderers. So were they saying that maybe they drugged her and, you know, she met up with the wrong people and they fucking killed her, or it was an accident? Or it takes you on such a journey, but it was so good. And I do believe how they said she died at the end is how she died, which just makes it so much sadder that no one was there for her. No one cared about her welfare or anything like that. I thought it was just really a sad ending, the way that it happened. But yeah, the conspiracy theories online about her death, such a good read. Like, if you're into conspiracy theories and you want to read and make your own mind up, go nuts. You'll be there for a while. But what I thought was really interesting and kind of scary, I went to Los Angeles, when did I go? 2 years ago? I think I went 2 years ago. And I stayed in downtown LA, which is where this hotel is. My fucking hotel was 4 minutes, a 4-minute drive, a 10-minute walk from this Cecil hotel, which means the Top Deck place booked a hotel 10 minutes from Skid Row. Like, yeah, it's scary. Like, I don't think it might have been a little bit different back then, because when I went to downtown LA, it's very much like city vibes. They've got all the tall buildings now and it's like hustle bustle in downtown LA. But I think back then, before it was developed, it was like kind of sketchy. But I looked it up on the map while I was watching the documentary and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was walking around at night with people, obviously. Like, I went to the supermarket or I went to the chemist and I was just like, you know, checking out LA. I went to go buy food and shit. And I was like, I was walking around near Skid Row. That's kind of fucked up. And they were saying on the documentary that Skid Row is like one of, like, if not the most highest crime rated areas and scariest places in the whole fucking world. And I was like 10 minutes away from that. That was so scary. Okay. Anyway, this intro is going, wow. Okay. Sorry guys, this is going to be a long episode. This intro is going forever, but I had a lot to talk about. Okay. Hopefully. And that's today's episode. Okay. Let's get into it. I don't want to keep it too long for you guys because I know y'all are busy. So what I want to talk about today is routines and the importance of them, how to set them up right, and just my own experiences with them and why the hell you should have them. So when I say routines, it could be anything in your life. You know, your morning routine, your nighttime routine, your gym routine, your finance routine, whatever you interpret routine is. And a lot of people actually have routines subconsciously and they don't realize it's a routine. The interesting thing about that is it actually takes new information or new research. It takes 66 days to make behavioral change automatic. So if you've done something long enough the same way, it becomes a habit and an automatic behavioral change, a routine. Okay, so I know that sucks because it's longer than what they used to say it was. It's like 21 days or something. It's actually 66. I'm sorry to break it to you because I know a lot of people are like, if I just gun out this new routine for 21 days, it'll be a habit. No, baby girl. It takes 66 days. I'm sorry. But you've got this. I believe in you. Guys, I also have had a coffee recently. If you can't tell, I obviously talk very fast because I'm Australian, but I'm also sitting in my cupboard to record this and I'm sweating and I can't put the aircon on. Firstly, there's no aircon in my cupboard, and secondly, it's loud. I don't know why I'm talking about this. The episode's already long. I'm okay, just so you guys know. Okay. Where the fuck am I going with this? Routines. So I want to talk about my morning routine. I've never had a morning routine. I've never been a morning person, probably because I don't have a fucking morning routine, to be honest. My life was all over the place in the mornings. Mornings, yuck. Okay, so now that I'm on this mental health, like helping myself situation, going to therapy, you know, all that fun stuff, I was like, I really want to look after myself. I'm doing really well in the gym. I eat really well. I'm doing really well in all areas, well, most areas. I feel like I'm the type of person that should have a morning routine, you know? What does that look like to me? And again, the important thing with routines is don't take someone else's. What will work for you? What are you already doing that you could maybe do a little bit more of or fine tune and improve? It's not about changing your whole fucking lifestyle because someone told you on like BuzzFeed that you should drink a liter of water in the morning and like do 10 jump stars and whatever the fuck it is, okay? So mine, I was like, I really struggle to get out of bed in the morning. And I was someone that didn't shower in the mornings because I thought that was pointless. I shower at night, it's okay. But, you know, save the water, etc. And I'm lazy. And I always used to sleep in so much because I couldn't wake up that I was like, there's no time for a shower. So I was like, I'm going to get up and have a cold shower. And I could do a whole other episode on why having a really, really cold, shocking cold shower in the morning is good for you. But that's for another day. So what I started doing was, first of all, I put my phone on charge away from my bed. So it was still in the room, but I had to physically get up out of bed to turn my alarm off. That helped because I wasn't rolling over and pressing snooze in my sleep. Also, a whole other episode on why continuously snoozing is actually worse for you and your sleep than just turning it off. Again, another day. So I would physically have to get up out of bed and turn it off. And I changed my alarm from like that really annoying alarm sound to the bedtime alarm because it starts really soft and works its way up to loud. I don't know why that's beneficial, but I like it because it doesn't scare the fuck out of me. And when it scared the fuck out of me, I used to get angry at my alarm. I'm like, fucking piece of shit. It woke me up. Now I'm going back to bed because I'm annoyed, right? This is like a good morning, Jade. Like really slow, peaceful wake up, which I'm happy to get up to. Well, not happy, but you know. So I would get up. Now that I'm up, I'm physically standing up. I go straight to my bathroom. So there's no time to think about it, right? Get up straight to my bathroom, turn the cold water on, get in, put my face under the water, like just put my whole body underwater so I'm wet, stand in there for a minute or whatever, and then get up. Like I wash my armpits and, you know, the genital area, and then I'm all good to go for the day. So then what I do is go into the like lounge room kitchen area and I open the window so I'm getting natural sunlight, which is also helping me wake up. I do have a glass of water because I'm normally thirsty in the morning. Put the kettle on, put the cup on the bench, and put my oats and my protein shake in a shaker, make the shake, drink it. Then I take my coffee over to my makeup vanity. And also for my nighttime routine, I would have already laid out my clothes for the next day on the bed. So I get changed, do my makeup, and then drink my coffee, brush my teeth, and I go. So because I'm not a morning person, I'm like, how can I still feel productive in the morning by doing the bare ass fucking minimum whilst obviously still looking after myself? And that's it. Then I go to work. Your morning routine might look very different to mine. Maybe you don't mind getting up earlier and doing yoga or having a stretch or mindful meditation or whatever the hell it is. Maybe you like to exercise in the morning or whatever it is. But mine is, how can I make my morning routine productive so that I wake up? That's all I want. That's all I want to achieve in the morning is waking up before I leave the house. And I'm happy with that. So that's my morning routine. It doesn't have to be, you know, just because everyone's like, your morning routine, wake up earlier, go for a walk and get some sunshine. It's like, well, I don't want to wake up earlier. Like I struggle to wake up 5 minutes before I have to leave, let alone waking up, like forcing myself to wake up earlier. Yes, it's probably good for you, but, you know, it takes 66 days to create a habit. So is it going to be easier to get up 66 days and do a routine that works for you, or force yourself to do something that's definitely going to be hard for 66 days? Do you know what I mean? Do you know where I'm going with this? So take the time to think about, what are you currently doing already, or what would you like to do differently? Can you fine tune some things? Can you add something in as you go so it's not such a big change and a lot to do differently all at once? You know, these are some things that you can think of. My gym routine is super important to me. So whether I'm leaving from work or leaving from home, depending on what time I train, I always train in the evenings because it's just too fucking hard in the morning, but I like training at night or in the afternoon, right? It's more so in the afternoon at the moment. So I pack my gym bags the night before. I pack everything the night before and it just sits by the front door. Does anyone else do that? I have like my work bag, my gym bag, and my clothes like in a pile. ready to go. There's no fucking around in the morning. Again, if you're not a morning person, eliminate any possibility that you have to wake up earlier to do shit. I promise you, it's great. So, nighttime. Gym. I have my gym bag with me. Let's just say I'm already on the way to the gym, right? I always drink my pre-workout in the car in the same spot. So that's the first inclination. It's like a trigger in my brain, right? It's like I see that road sign, or I see this section of the highway, or wherever the fuck I am. That means it's time to take my pre-workout. And I almost do it subconsciously now, right? Because I'd been training for so long and I've set this routine up. I've lived here and I've gone to this gym for over a year. So every time I see that thing, it's like, oh, grab your pre-workout, start drinking it on the way to the gym. And it's like a 5-minute drive from when I start drinking the thing. As soon as I get to the gym, it's the same thing. I put my sun visor on my car, obviously because it's sunny, but it's a habit. I just do it. Even if it's fucking overcast, I put my sun visor up. I grab my keys and my shaker in one hand, which is now empty, walk over to the door, tag in, and I walk straight to the bathroom. Even if I don't need to go to the toilet or get changed or have a shower, I go to the bathroom. It's just part of my routine. I go to the bathroom, I put my bag down, and I start doing my other supplements, like pouring my intra workout like into a bottle and filling it up with water and all that shit. I then pee. Even if I don't need to, I'm like, I'm in the bathroom. This is part of the routine. I pee. Also, I don't want to stop my mid-workout because I'm busting to go to the toilet. So I always go to the toilet. Then I always work out on the same treadmill. I'm lucky enough that I don't go when it's busy and it's not taken. But I do my workout and then I start training. And it's the same when I leave the gym. Go back to the bathroom, take my headphones off, put my protein powder in the bottle this time, and leave. So why I want to tell you that's important is, one, I think having a routine helps with expectation. I feel more motivated when I know what's coming. I get excited about the gym. You know, it's easy to prepare because I anticipate what's happening because it's my routine. I know exactly how it's going to go. And I'll tell you the opposite of how it works. Perth hit a lockdown for a week. The gym's closed. I did not train the whole week except for one day. I was lucky enough to go to like some empty warehouse and train with my mask on. So why that fucked me up, because I didn't have my routine and I was not motivated at home at all. I just was like, okay, it's a sign, like I will take this week off exercise, and it sucked. But not having that routine of getting in my car, driving to a gym, having the bathroom, and having those set rituals really threw my motivation off. And I'm super motivated to go to the gym because of my routine, like because I know what's coming and I get excited about it. But, you know, of course I could have worked out at home, but I was like, this is not what my routine is. I'm not excited for this and I don't care for it. So I'm just going to not exercise for 4 days. We can do something on, obviously, bedtime routines. I'm going to get a guest on the show. I have someone in mind that's going to talk to you guys about sleep, and we're going to go really deep into bedtime routines, the importance of, you know, the screens and caffeine and what you should do as a ritual for bedtime that really improves your sleep. I'm going to get a guest on, so I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I just want to remind you guys, obviously, every single routine is self-care in a way, I think. But you can also have other little small things that aren't a lot of steps, but it's still a routine to you. You know, do you always have your morning coffee at a certain place or at home? Or, you know, that's still a routine, right? It's part of your everyday routine. Do you have a routine for your social catch-ups? You know, once a month you have dinner with your family, or you go to your favorite restaurant with your partner, or you catch up with girlfriends, whatever it is. Do you have a routine for pampering yourself? Once a month you get your brows done or your hair done or whatever it is. That is a self-care, self-love routine. And you know what is part of my routine? Every now and then I shave my legs. When I shave my legs, I'm like, damn, 66 days of this, I don't know. This is a struggle. But, you know, I feel damn good when I shave my legs. You guys know what I'm trying to get at. Right. Yeah, I'm just trying to get at you guys that if you have a goal or something that you want to achieve, put something in place that is a routine around that goal. You're more likely to achieve a goal if there's actionable steps, or you can just call it a routine, because that's what it is. I'm very happy with my results in the gym because it's easy for me to get it done and do it because I've set this routine up for myself. And a lot of it is subconscious, and I talk to my partner about it. He's heavily into the gym, so I watch his routine quite a bit, and he tells me why he does certain things, and I just started subconsciously incorporating it. My gym routine has never been like this before, and I've never felt more motivated. So if you think back, what's something that you just did without even having to think about it? Driving. You know how to fucking drive a manual car, right? Because you just do. So you do it so much that your subconscious is like, oh, okay, cool, I know how to do this. But it could be anything, like if you're trying to learn something new, set a timer up on your phone once a week at a certain time and a certain day, and you just do it. And eventually you'll learn something new, because you read a book every single time that alarm goes off, and your brain just knows it's time to read that book. But yeah, you definitely do some research on how to create a habit and the psychology behind subconscious change is so interesting. If you guys are like me, I'm very, very interested in how the human mind works and how it's all connected and how we can literally reprogram our brain to do whatever the fuck we want. This kind of all ties into that. So 66 days to create behavioral change automatic. 66 days. Get a calendar, mark it. And it doesn't have to be every single day, right? It's just the notion of doing something over and over again until it's subconscious. But I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. It was a passionate topic, apparently. Routines going off for me over here. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Another reminder, we have our Facebook group. You are welcome to join, and we talk about the topics. And if you guys have any questions, you can reach out on all of my socials. I am everywhere, lurking, as Jade Delpup. JayDedelpup. And if you head to YouTube, Instagram, obviously my podcast, the Facebook group is called the JD Remedy, same as the podcast, but you can find me everywhere else as Jade Delpup. So come find me, reach out if you have any questions. I'm open to suggestions. I hope you guys enjoy the recs. I'll be posting those up as well, but I will see you guys next week. Bye.